If you want to hit more PRs in the gym and have superhuman recovery, your testosterone is your secret weapon, your unfair advantage. That's why I will tell you the exact testosterone boosting hacks that got me to hitting PRs weekly. Not monthly as everybody else, weekly. So here are my 5 favorite science-based and wildly underestimated, literally nobody talks about these things, testosterone boosting hacks that you can literally start doing today. If you didn't train already, today's workout. You can try them out and they will work in today's workout. That's how powerful they are. And stick around to the end to the special invite to my own calisthenics school with full courses, one-on-one calls and all of the good stuff. Number 1. Cold exposure before training. You probably heard a trillion times like, do cold exposure, do heavy exercise, sleep properly, have good nutrition, train hard. You heard this a trillion times, as I said. But you probably never heard about a study where they analyzed cold exposure before training. The main thing they were trying to prove is that cold showers after training decrease your muscle gain and strength gain. And they do. But what they found out when they did them before is that the participants' testosterone levels increased by 2 to 3 times. Not like a 100 plus nanograms per deciliter, 2 to 3 times that. So when they had like 400 nanograms per deciliter, which is like the average what most people have, mine is by the way 1760 something, which is like god level testosterone levels. But I've been doing this shit for how many years? Like 3 years? So I'm not surprised at all. But the testosterone increase only lasted about 2 to 3 hours, then it wore off. But after that, their testosterone remained a bit higher than last time. And my personal experience with this testosterone boosting method was that I was feeling down one day. Literally like, not like depressed, but really like tired, out of energy. And I needed to go and hit a dip workout. I was like, oh, I love training dips, but today is not the day. But I remembered that, oh, I heard this study where I did cold showers before training. So I did a cold shower and went, and that was the day that I hit this 122.5 dip PR. My dip PR before that was 115 and I couldn't break that. Literally, at the start of this year, my PR was 110. Then it went 5 kilograms above within 5 months. But then I did this exact testosterone boosting method and it got me the energy to hit the workout and hit that new PR. So when you are feeling tired the next workout, try this out. Now the second hack. This habit on its own is probably the most powerful one. I read a book titled The 4-Hour Body. You've probably heard the 4-hour work week, but the 4-hour body is something like that, but it talks about like your health and stuff like that. And the author of that book heard a study that was conducted like 10 years ago, and where they said that having your phone, the radiation from your phone, can decrease your testosterone when you keep it in your pocket. So he did a testosterone test before that. His testosterone levels were pretty low because he's like a stressed out businessman. But then he started carrying his phone somewhere else. I will tell you where to carry it, because carrying it in your pocket is really convenient. So that's why you probably won't start doing this hack. And his testosterone increased from just this simple hack. He kept his lifestyle, his sleep, his stress levels the exact same, but he just removed the phone from his pocket. His testosterone went up, I think it was by like 300 nanograms, 250 to 300 nanograms per deciliter, which his testosterone level was like 450 before that, which were like pretty low, but now they were like 700 something. And it was like, what the hell, why is nobody talked about this? And when I heard that study, I was like, this is actually true. It makes sense, like the radiation is going literally through your balls and stuff like that. But now, what is the safe distance for your phone? The radiation from your phone works a bit differently than like radiation from like X-rays and stuff like that. The radiation is really intense up to like only 10 centimeters from your phone. After that, the effects are basically zero. But when you keep it like next to your balls, like really, really close, within those 10 centimeters, the results can be drastic. This also lowers your fertility rate, and also with fertility rate and sperm mobility goes down also your testosterone. So you should keep your phone, just to be safe, around 20 centimeters away from your balls. There are a couple of things you can do for this. The most easiest one that I do is that this is a mouse from my notebook, I just keep my phone in my hand wherever I go. I just walk around with my phone like this. Yeah, when I need to like carry something and something quick happens, or I need to act fast, I get into like a street fight or whatever, I just put the phone in my pocket. Yeah, it doesn't kill me for 10 seconds, yeah, but 99% of the time I have it like this. Now the next thing that I personally use is that I have trousers that have more pockets. I'll put a picture on the screen of them. So I just keep it in the next pocket. I don't need to have it right next to my balls. I just keep it there, down, lower down, and that increases the distance so the radiation doesn't have any effect on my testosterone. And if you keep your phone in like your hoodie pocket, that's okay, because there is like half an inch of fabric between that. And it's also like 13 centimeters away, so I would say it's okay. Now the third thing, it's sunlight. There has been a study where it was a study of 40 men, and they had another control group that didn't change their life whatsoever of 20 men. And they measured their testosterone levels and their libido levels, which is like the hormone that makes you like sexually active, you can say. And they also collected semen samples. And this group didn't change their life at all, continued as normal. And this group, for 1 month, went outside into the sun, like this, with just their pants, like this, with their shirt off, 2 times a week, just 2 times a week, for 30 minutes, which is not actually that much if you think about it. And their testosterone increased on average, so some people had more testosterone, some of them had less testosterone, and their testosterone increased on average by 210 nanograms per deciliter. That is huge. A really, really good increase by just going outside into the sun shirtless for 30 minutes, 2 times a week. And they also reported their libido levels to be higher in bed, and also they lasted longer in bed, which is like a side point. So this definitely works. Go and try it out. And if you want to take this to the next level, it is directly sunning your balls. Only around once a week or twice a week for like 30 minutes. You can combine this with being shirtless, so you just go and you lie on the grass when you can. I live in a village, so I can just go and lie in my backyard and nobody will notice, not even my family. But sunning your balls also increases your testosterone by a bit much. I don't remember what specifically they said in that study, but it was another increase. So go and spend some time in the sun. And even if you say that, oh, I'm in the UK, like a lot of people from the UK, when I also had like coaching calls and stuff like that, they told me like, oh, I can't go outside into the sun to increase my testosterone because there is no sun. Like, bro, can you see outside? It doesn't need to be like a completely sunny day without any clouds whatsoever. There is sun. If you go outside and you can see, there is sunlight. So just don't be a bitch and go outside. Even though you say like, oh, there is no direct sunlight. Yeah. So it's only like half as effective as it would normally be. So just don't be a bitch and spend 2 times the amount of time outside to get the same effect. So if you can see outside, there is sunlight. Now, because testosterone is created in your sleep and mostly in the hours leading up to wake up time, that's why you like get morning wood. So you need to optimize also your sleep. I have a full sleep guide, it's going to be over here. But let me quickly drop some sleep hacks. The first thing is that people confuse hours of sleep with hours in bed. Everybody knows that you should get at least 6 hours of sleep. I get 9.5. But if you go to sleep and you check your phone, you set the alarm and it says your alarm will sound in 6 hours, that isn't 6 hours of sleep. That's 6 hours in bed, bro. And that's a huge, huge difference. Because it takes some time to fall asleep. obviously. But then you need to take into account sleep efficiency, which is around, I would say, 80% for most people that don't optimize their sleep, maybe even less, like 70%. So you spend 6 hours in bed, which is probably like 4 hours of actual sleep. So you are literally sleep deprived, although you think you are sleeping enough. And if you are a teenager, like a young guy, like pretty much from the ages of, I don't know, 5 to like 21 or 25, you need to get like a lot of sleep. I would suggest getting those 6 or 7 hours of sleep, not in bed. So the simplest hack is to just add 20% on top of that. So you want 7 hours of sleep, you get 8 hours in bed. You want 6 hours of sleep, you get 7 hours in bed, or like 6.75 hours in bed, something like that. We talked about hours of sleep, but you know what is way more important than hours of sleep? It is having consistent wake up and sleep times. This is even more important than having your stable 6 hours of sleep. If you are constantly waking up and going to sleep at different times, your body has no way to adapt. So if you have your go to sleep time, let's say it's at 10 p.m. and your wake up time is, let's say, at 6 a.m. and you, for example, are a degenerate, you scroll on your phone, or you just life came up and you need to do some shit and you go to sleep at 12. You may be thinking, even though it's a weekend the next day, like, oh, I will just wake up later, I will just wake up at 8 so I can get 8 hours in bed and 7 hours of sleep essentially. No, it's not like that, bro. It may sound completely counterintuitive, but your body is used to going to sleep at certain time and waking at certain time and having your REM sleep, which is the most important part of your sleep for memory and testosterone, and also deep sleep, which is really, really important, at some times in between those wake up and sleep times. So if you move your go to sleep time and your wake up time by like 2 hours, those 2 blocks of deep sleep and REM sleep stay the exact same. So you won't get any more sleep and you will wake up feeling groggy, out of energy and stuff like that. So try this out. When you go to sleep later, wake up at the exact same time. You will actually feel better and more energized. And the same goes if you want to extend your sleep, like it's the weekend and you want to sleep more, extend your go to sleep time, because then you will fall asleep a bit faster and you will get a bit more shallow sleep before the block of deep sleep and REM sleep begins. Now, should I tell you this? Oh, okay, fuck it. Let me tell you another awesome hack about sleep. The hack that allows me to fall asleep within 5 minutes. I always used to be the guy that troubled falling asleep. I literally went to sleep at 10 and I would still be lying in bed at 11:30. I remember this vividly. I was trying to fall asleep before going to school. I was like, oh, right now I'm going to start optimizing like my sleep. This was 2 years ago. And I was like, oh, I can't fall asleep. I checked it at 11:30 and like, oh, I'm going to have like 7 hours in bed again. No. And I wanted to get 9. So how do you do that specifically is that you go and you lie on the floor. This is my general wind down ritual. Before this ritual, you should also limit distraction. You shouldn't play video games and stress yourself out before going to sleep. You shouldn't do hard exercise. You shouldn't scroll on your phone. You shouldn't do anything that releases dopamine or adrenaline and these types of hormones. And you just go and you lie on the ground, on like the floor, like this. That is my favorite pose. And you breathe like a king. This is like a little hack. You breathe like a king by breathing into your stomach. Literally, you breathe in, fill up your stomach first, then your chest, and it goes like this. So you breathe essentially from your balls up. So I can't do this now because I was like speaking, so I can't bulge my stomach out so much as I am used to. So you breathe like a king, deep breathing. Whilst breathing like a king, you can also do some meditation. Meditation is essentially just focusing on something. That's like the complete summary of meditation. So you just focus on breathing like a king. And the outcome of this is that when after 5 minutes, you just stand from the floor, everything is dark also. You don't keep the lights on, obviously. You go and you lie in bed and you are just out within a minute. You continue to focus on your breathing, not really breathing like a king, but breathing like if you were falling asleep. Like, you know how a person that is already asleep breathes? You will breathe exactly like that. And this will also increase your muscle recovery and testosterone levels, obviously. Now, number 5. This is a hack that will drastically increase your testosterone and also your human growth hormone. And this hack calls like me, I could say like me, but also like different types of people, because you can say like, oh, because I'm only 16, so I will keep growing. You could say, but my growth kind of stopped at 14 and I couldn't grow. I was like 165 centimeters and now I'm 172. And I could contribute that doing this form of exercise. You do this after your training session, because if you do that before, it can screw up your hypertrophy and strength training. So do this either on your rest day. I would suggest 2 times a week, maybe even a bit more when you want to maximize this. But yeah, it is 30-second all-out sprints. Sprinting absolutely for 30 seconds as hard as you can. Then you stop, continue breathing for 90 seconds, so a minute and a half. Then you go and you do the sprints again. And then you repeat this 3 times. Also, should I tell you this? Yeah, I will tell you again another hack that I wasn't supposed to. When you are sweating, you are literally sweating out estrogenics, like estrogen from your body and disgusting chemicals in your body that are lowering your testosterone. That's why you should make sure to wipe yourself off. You should grab a towel, and when you sweat, when you train, when you do this exercise, when you are in the sauna, make sure to rub off those estrogenics. And also taking a shower after training, not a cold one, as we mentioned previously, because that decreases muscle and strength gain, but a regular warm shower. Take a warm shower after training so you really properly clean out those chemicals from your body, because as easy as they went out, they can go inside of your skin. So that's why I need to make sure to clean them out. And also, because I'm a good person, let me tell you 3 really good like testosterone and recovery tricks. The first one, this is really important during summer. It is to keep your central nervous system and your core body temperature cool, like keeping your core body temperature cool. The difference between outer body temperature and like core body temperature is that you may be thinking you cool down your internal body temperature by taking a cold shower. No, you heat up the internal body temperature by taking a cold shower, because it cools you down, the cold shower, and then your core body temperature heats up in order to heat up your entire body. So how do you keep just your core body temperature cool during your workouts? It is by cooling your vagus portals. It's like called like that. Those are your face, the palms of your hand, and the soles of your feet, by grabbing like ice cubes, or I have like, these are like blue packs that just maintain cold. I don't know how to say that. So I just cool down my hands and the soles of my feet, and that allows you to train harder the next set. You will actually feel the difference, so make sure to try it out. The next thing is that you should avoid bright overhead blue light. So 3 things: bright light, overhead light, and blue light. I don't have the time to explain exactly why I do that in my courses, but you should just keep in mind. The easiest things to do is to just keep your lights off like 2 or 3 hours before going to sleep. And if you can't do that, make it like an hour. And also using something known as a blue light filter on your phone when you are on your phone before going to sleep, which is not suggested. And now the third testosterone boosting hack is the need to wear natural fibers, you can say. All of my clothes are only cotton, no polyester and these types of dangerous chemicals, because these are known as estrogenics and they can seep into your skin through the clothes. And then most importantly, when you sweat, when you train in polyester clothing, it seeps into your skin, and those estrogenics literally act like estrogen inside of your body, causing you gynecomastia and lower testosterone levels. So make sure to wear natural fibers, most importantly when you train, because that's when you get the most sweaty, and when you heat up these types of estrogenics and plastics, it makes them more prone to seeping into your skin. So to recap these 5 testosterone boosting hacks, the first one was how cold showers before your training can increase your energy and testosterone in your workouts. The second one is how removing your phone from your pocket and just keeping it a little bit further away can drastically increase your testosterone levels. Then how sunning your body, how getting more natural vitamin D into your body and also sunning your balls directly can increase your testosterone. Then how mastering your sleep and knowing how to optimize your sleep, and that hours of bed and hours of sleep, which is the biggest misconception, are not the same. And then finally, the testosterone boosting practice of sprinting and resting that can increase your testosterone levels and your human growth hormone. Plus the 3 tips that I talked about at the end about cooling your internal body temperature whilst training, keeping yourself away from your phone before going to sleep, and also wearing natural clothes that are estrogenic free so they don't lower your testosterone. So these were the 5 testosterone boosting hacks. And on average, in one singular module, which there are 8 of, in my complete end-to-end testosterone boosting course, are around 17. And the difference between my YouTube videos and my courses is that on this video I spent around, how much was it? This one was a bit more, like 2 hours of research and scripting and 30 minutes of recording. Plus on my courses and my exact testosterone boosting course, I spent a month researching and scripting that course. And then around a week of editing. So if you want every single tactic, in-depth courses and one-on-one calls with me, my Calisthenics School just launched. With over 8 in-depth modules into your diet and testosterone, your training, your relationships, your mental health, your sleep. Also the supplements for testosterone. Everything plus a bunch of other courses are in my Calisthenics School for only $23 a month. So if you've been watching my videos for quite some time, you know how much value they are. So imagine leveling up with full in-depth courses plus being able to ask me specific questions about your training, designing your own workout split, checking your form, muscle gain, strength gain, all of the good stuff. Make sure to check that out, it's in the description. Bye, take care bro, you got this.